It's Craig Houk, Indiana Boxing, CEO of the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. Today's been a blessed day. First of all, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Roof It Forward, Wave Media, and Genato's Pizza. And today I'm blessed to have Buster Douglas, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, 1990, had the biggest upset in boxing history. As he was a 42-1 underdog, and he knocked out Mike Tyson, and he's the first man to ever do it. He is the undisputed heavyweight world champion. Buster Douglas is from Columbus, Ohio. He was managed by John Johnson. He's also his dad was Billy Douglas. Of his middleweight, a really good fighter. And he once fought a guy named Marvin Johnson at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Do you remember that fight, Buster?
Yeah, I remember the fight. I got the poster in my gym.
Yeah, it's pretty good, ain't it? So your dad was a real killer, and for him to get really good fights, he had to go to Philadelphia to fight the best fighters in the world.
He was always fighting outside of Columbus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what do you remember with him and Marvin Johnson that night? Was you there at that fight?
No, I didn't go to that fight, but I knew it was a tough fighter.
Yeah.
Marvin Johnson, Southpaw.
Yeah. Three-time light heavyweight world champion.
Yeah, world light heavyweight champion.
I know.
Yeah, great fighter.
Hey, Buster, we want to again. People, for people that don't know you, when did you start boxing? What age? Because first of all, you was like a basketball player, correct?
Right, but I started boxing at the age of 10.
At the age of
I
10,
was very competitive from age of 10 to 15. Then I got involved playing basketball, football, other sports, and came back to it at 21 and turned pro. And I've had a pretty extensive amateur boxing career. I won 3 state fair titles, 3 golden gloves, 4 golden glove titles, and I had close to 90 amateur fights.
Oh wow, that's a lot of amateur fights.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I saw your boy over there trying to mix it up a little bit. What are you thinking about him? What are you thinking about your boy fighting if he was to fight?
Who's that?
Your little boy.
Oh, well, they've all competed.
Yes.
And they're definitely in competition. They bring some heat.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. He's a pretty good media guy too.
Yeah, definitely.
So what they really don't know about you, all they seen was you beating Mike Tyson for the heavyweight world championship and making the cover of Sports Illustrated, which nobody is rare to ever do. But they didn't see the struggle, they didn't see the grind, they didn't see the work, and they didn't see all the. So you just don't go up there and fight Mike Tyson for the heavyweight championship.
I had to fight a bunch of good guys just to get the opportunity to fight Mike Tyson.
Yes, and and your amateur career, did you what year would you have been eligible for the Olympics? 88?
Yes, it would have been 88.
Yeah, 88.
84.
84.
I mean, Jerry went in 84.
Jerry went in 84. Was a gold.
So I'd have been able to compete in the 84 Olympics.
Oh, gotcha. I got you. And what was the reason for you to just going straight pro? I mean, to go pro. Who did you get signed with to turn pro with?
Well, my first promoter after several professional fights was Russell Peltz out of Philadelphia.
The Boy Wonder.
Yeah, the Boy Wonder.
Boy Wonder. He actually
he promoted my father as well.
Yes. Yeah, Boy Wonder, Russell Peltz. And he's in the Hall of Fame as a promoter, and, in the boxing, in the world, he's been well known. But what I was going to ask you, when did you hook up with John Johnson? Was that 1984?
Yeah, I talked to my uncle JD, talked to me and said that if I really was serious about doing the professional rankings, that I should, consider working with John Johnson. He knew John. He had worked with him before with other fighters, and he said that John was a good guy. So we sit down and set up a time to meet over at John's house, and I like what John was talking about, and I decided to sign with him, and that's where we started. And it was tough in the beginning because the first fight was a disqualification. It was at East Dallas in Columbus, Ohio.
I got you.
At a club, and started off kind of rocky, but we hung in there and turned things around, and
got you.
became very successful.
I'm with you. I'm with you. You know, and you know what? If they don't, what it was your relationship? And this is one of the questions I wanted to, I was thinking about last night. I wanted to ask you, what was your relationship with your dad, Billy Douglas? Because I know, what was your relationship with your dad? How was your relationship with your
It was a
dad?
good relationship. You know, it was just, I think that in the beginning, it was kind of rough because I think we had two different ways of looking at things, and but it was just a normal situation between father and son. I think
More of a control stuff.
well, yeah, he had an idea of doing it one way, and I had an idea of doing it another way,
I got
and
you.
that's when JD stepped in and gave me an opportunity, an option to seek other advice or a manager, and that's when he brought John Johnson to the table. And I sit down and talk with John. I like what he was talking about, and I kind of got a feel for him right off the bat.
Well, he tells me the story that he had you and the trainer over there one day, and he put a plate in the middle, and he said, "Right now we have nothing." He said, "But by the time we're done with that, we could fill that plate with millions of dollars." And when you knocked out Mike Tyson for the heavyweight world championship in 1990, and then made the big payday, it's kind of keeps kind of a tear in my eye, champ. It's kind of amazing that you talk about it, and you talk the dream, you eat the dream, you sleep the dream, and then bam, it's reality. And so but I was going to ask you, on the way up to fight for the title, that people don't know that your first title fight was against Tony Tucker. Is that correct?
Right, Tony Tucker in 1987.
I gotcha.
It was in a fighting for a portion of the title, the IBF title.
IBF title.
And that was my first opportunity of fighting for the world title, and that was an experience in itself.
Yeah.
Came up a little short in that fight, but it was.
You had some good moments in that fight, though.
Yeah, definitely, and it just made the hunger even more.
Gotcha.
Once I lost that fight, I got a taste of the big time. It's like, man, I wanted
You want even more. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
You know how it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I know exactly.
Yeah.
It's addicting. It's like a drug.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. All right. So, I was going to talk about, obviously everybody wants to talk about the Mike Tyson fight. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to go, well, what's going to go through your head? So you get the title fight in 1990. They call you, all kinds of different names. And I'm saying, Ham and Ager and this, that, and the other, and they're saying different stuff. Because Mike Tyson at that time was knocking everybody out.
Well, he was proven, that's for sure.
Yeah.
If you wasn't decapitating anybody, you didn't have a chance against the man.
Yeah.
Anybody else's mind. Because he was just, by then, like I said, he was proven, and he was a wrecking crew.
Yeah.
And then if you weren't decapitating people or really knocking people out with one single punch, they felt that, wasn't they didn't foresee anything stopping him.
Absolutely.
But it's called boxing.
Amen.
That's the art.
Absolutely. I've talked to you a couple different times on, with Mike Tyson, but I kept saying, when did you really know that you had him beat?
When I really thought I had him beat is in the 8th round.
8th round?
Yeah.
And that's when he dropped you?
I felt like, I stopped fighting. Like, what do you think about me now, baby? What?
Yeah.
We still in here getting busy.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, whack. Oops.
Oh.
Better get back on the focus train, buddy.
Yeah.
He's still alive over there.
Yeah, I know. But I've went to Eric Thomas classes, and Eric Thomas does a very great motivational speech. And I was going to talk about that here with next. And I know that when they had the fight for you to fight Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson, 23 days before the fight, your mom passed away, and God rest her soul. What was going through your mind at that time, to be honest with you?
Well, 2 weeks before that, she came over to my house, to check on me, because I was going through some things with my wife, and we were actually separated at the time.
Okay.
And she came over, and we talked, and after we talked, and she felt that I was focused, and she felt that I was going to win. You know, that I was very still determined. It wasn't nothing taken away from I had my eyes still on the prize.
Absolutely.
And that was the main reason for coming over, because she knew who I was going up against, and she wanted to make sure I was ready and focused.
Well, you know, and one of the best pictures I have of you, and you know, John Johnson loves it the best, is when you did knock Mike Tyson out for the heavyweight world championship. There's a picture of you looking up in the air to your mom, and you know, it's inspiring. What was going through your mind after you won the heavyweight world championship?
Telling her that I did it, and I told you I was going to do it, and God bless her, and I love her.
Yeah, I got you. It was one of your proudest moments.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then things blew up on you. You go from being not a nobody, but you know, people do know you in boxing, but you start being a big boxing icon where you start getting a celebrity, which you start being a celebrity. And then how did you handle that? Was it distracting, or was it you're on the Jay Leno show, you're on this, you're on that?
That was all good. I mean, I wasn't distracting at all. It was just just goes along with the show.
Absolutely.
You know, it was a good time. You know, a really good time. But it was just, it all ran together. You know, because shortly after that was a short-lived celebrity and life, and then it became back to still fighting to say that I am the heavyweight champion of the world, because I had to go to court. And that really got to be, a burden, but
I know.
But I've gotten over it now. But it was a tough time, because I mean, it was a nightmare.
Well, here's what I'm trying to explain to people. They're like, well, Buster was down for 10 or 11 seconds. I says, let me be honest with you guys. You get dropped on the ground and you're incoherent. The only person I'm listening to is the referee. And if the referee tells me it's 7, I'm still down. I'm going to stay down. And if he tells me it's 8, and then he tells me it's 9, I'm going to get up. It's what the referee says, not what anybody else says. Don't mind what he counts.
And it's not an official clock.
Yeah, it's not a human count. Yeah, and that's what I tried to tell him. I said, look, nobody, you're incoherent. All you're doing is listening to the referee. You're not worried about anybody else.
And Craig, the thing about it, Tyson was down longer than I was.
I know.
That wasn't even an issue.
I know it.
It was like, no, you were down longer than 10 seconds, but his count was way longer.
Yeah,
than 10
I know.
seconds.
It was like 15.
Exactly. So, it's like anything to pull, anything.
Try to take away
and that's what I had to deal with. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to take
Instead
it away
of going
from
and taking the loss and moving on and hopefully coming back, getting another opportunity to fight for the title, you want to whine and scream about it. It's like becoming, being the baddest man on the planet, being the whiner.
Yeah, I got
being
you.
the biggest baby on the planet.
Well, I want to congratulate you. Saturday, you lead the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. I know this is kind of a rough time with the coronavirus and stuff, but you lead the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. You had a couple of fights here in Indiana. What is your how did you remember those fights here in Indiana? One was Rick Enos with the football player.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember it was tough fights, because I came here twice to fight, as you just said, but it was proven to me, and it showed me that I had what it takes to do this business.
Yeah, because they match you up with kids like 13-2, and then they put you in with Rick Ennis like 9-1. You've had maybe 2 or 3 fights or something like that.
Right. Well, I had about 7 fights. Not more than that, but
they weren't doing you no favors.
No, they weren't doing me no favors, and it was just an opportunity to see if I really wanted to do this.
Yeah, I got you.
Because these are 2 quality guys, and I left out Indiana feeling good about myself, like I picked the right sport.
And I think it's part of your growth. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's what it is.
You grow.
It's one thing of being 25-0, 26-2, but it's the quality of the opponents that you fought.
Absolutely.
Because once you get up to fight for the title, it's real.
Absolutely.
This champion has been there for a while.
And I remember you was down early against Tex Cobb, and then you come back late and beat Tex Cobb. You remember that?
That was right. Another
great big win for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Buster, what would you like to say to your fans out there right now today? That you're so to a young kid that's up and climbing, that has the same dream that we all have.
Well, it's all about staying positive and believing in yourself. even when nobody believes in you, you got to believe in yourself first and foremost. And just keep your eye on the prize. Don't lose focus. Stay on that right line.
Amen. That's it. That's it. And, are you a Jerry Page fan?
Oh, yeah, we come up together.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, we
Von Johnson, all them guys.
We fought in the Golden Gloves together at State Fair.
Yeah.
We were fighting on two separate teams in Columbus, but, we knew each other as kids.
Yeah,
so,
I know. You growing up together. Some stories.
Matter of fact, when he won the gold medal, I remember I was training downtown in Columbus at one of Sammy's gym. It was a gym, boxing gym downtown. And his parade was going down High Street. That was, 94?
Yeah, 84.
Yeah.
And what was your feeling like for you? Obviously beating Mike Tyson was your biggest thrill. But then they did the parade for you. How did you feel? How did it make you feel?
That was pretty awesome. That was like my second parade.
I know it was pretty.
My first parade was in the state championship in high school. We won the Ohio State basketball championship.
That's right, man. You're a Ohio State football fan too, ain't you?
Oh yeah, Buckeyes. I support the Buckeyes. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks. There he is. All
right.
Ohio State fan. Anything you would like to say to John Johnson? I mean, John Johnson's not here because of the coronavirus and stuff, and he has messaged me 2 or 3 times. What would you say what John Johnson meant to you in your career?
Oh, John was a very vital part of my career because without John, it would have never happened. He believed in me, but nobody else did, and we made history together. And he said that, he and JD and I were sitting in his living room when we decided to make this to embark on this journey of becoming heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
In his living room, and that dream became a reality. So it took a lot of hard work, ups and downs, but we made it.
Yeah, and he was talking about, said some boy was born in Columbus, Ohio, 1960. That boy was James Buster Douglas.
That's right.
And that's it. And he was a hillbilly redneck, is what he said he was.
Red Jacket, West Virginia.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
been there a few times.
Yeah, it's some great stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Buster, I want to congratulate you on making the Indiana boxing. I want to thank you so much for your time and what you've meant to the boxing world. And what would you like to say out there to anybody out there who's trying to pursue their dreams and happiness and all their goals?
Just stay focused and believe in yourself and never know where you end up. Just stay focused and do your thing. Let them hands go. Let them feet go. Let your heart go. Give it all you got. You'll be all right.
I got you, man. Buster, thank you so much for your time, mate. God bless.
Thank you, Craig.
I appreciate you, man.